love. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, pausing, or what I like to call the paradox of pausing. I see pauses as little time machines that allow us to stop and expand time. And you are about to learn why and how. Hi, my name is Erika. I'm a transformational facilitator. I created this channel to help you connect with the part within you that is always at peace, full of love, joy, that is wise and is here to guide you so that you can experience and live the life you came here to live. We tend to believe that pausing is a waste of time, or that we simply don't have time to pause. And rationally, this makes sense, but as Einstein wisely put it, time is relative. The past, present, and future are only illusions, even if they're stubborn ones. When we pause, we create the time we need to stop, breathe, and become more present. With presence comes awareness, and awareness connects us with our highest potential, meaning that we move, think, and live more effectively, creating more time by using it more wisely. Simply put, we are not running around like headless chickens, finding one distraction after another, having to repeat the same task over and over because we are not focused, cleaning up our messes because we are not careful, retracing our steps because we lost or forgot something. When we don't create the time to consciously pause, we unconsciously find excuses to pause. We grab our phones, we grab a snack, we go to the bathroom, and so on. Nature effortlessly flows between times of action and movement and times of stillness, serenity, and pause. Pausing is in our nature. When we pause, we connect with our natural intelligence. And we use time more wisely because we are centered in our bodies. We become more effective. Are you starting to see how pausing can actually help you create more time? When I speak of pauses, I am referring to a shift in our thinking that brings our awareness to the present moment. We may or may not stop what we're doing. We can take a lunch break, for instance, and never actually pause or use that time to pause. Our minds might be still working on that thing that we thought we left at the office. On the other hand, we can pause without stopping what we're doing, without taking a break. We simply become more conscious of what we're doing at that moment.
Pausing doesn't mean we're taking a break. Taking a break doesn't mean we're pausing.
I started pausing more consciously when I started paying attention to my breath. I've always had a consistent meditation practice, but often I will have a wonderful practice in the morning and then jump to my day, from one activity to the next. And I felt frustrated that I couldn't bring the peace and the essence of my meditation into my daily life. I left the practice at the mat or on the cushion, as they say. As a part of my breathwork coach training assignments, I was encouraged to pay attention to my breath, to connect with my breathing and work with my breathing. So I started doing that. I started to pay attention to my breath when I was cooking, doing dishes. I started working with my breath when I was walking Zia. And the more I did it, the more conscious I became. And I realized that I was able to bring the essence of my meditations back into the present moment. One breath, and I was back on the cushion. Those moments of pause I was I was allowing myself to have, were giving me so much more than any external factor could give me. You can probably relate to this. You are in the middle of something that most people, even yourself, will find enjoyable, but you simply can't enjoy it. Maybe you're not feeling well physically, mentally, or emotionally, or your mind is not there to enjoy it. So, simply put, the external factor is there, but you are not there to enjoy it. On the other hand, we can be doing something seemingly mundane, but if we start to bring our awareness into what we are doing, we can enjoy it more. We start falling in love with life and really experiencing life and the present moment. And of course, if we start enjoying the mundane parts of life, we enjoy the things we already love even more. Let's talk about when things are not going so well, when we're having a bad day or going through a challenging situation. Pausing may not come as naturally during these times, but if we had made it a habit to pause throughout our day, suddenly we're in the middle of a huge drama, externally or internally, and a little voice reminds us that it might be a good time to pause, to take a breather. We can surrender to the moment and say something like, you know what, I don't like what is happening, I don't understand it, but I am willing to gain a different perspective. We breathe, we take a moment to recenter, and we can start seeing things from a higher perspective. And usually, when we ask for help, when we surrender, help is given to us. You will be surprised at how this simple act of pausing and surrendering can make us feel better almost immediately. But we must be willing to go there, to leave the drama momentarily, and take a moment to breathe, recenter. I set the intention to make pausing a part of my day, and I take many kinds of pauses. Some I call my appreciation pauses. If I'm cooking, I take a moment to remember who I'm cooking for. I infuse my love and my energy into the food that I'm preparing. If I'm about to eat, I take a moment to give thanks for the food, for the hands that brought the food to my table, and I offer the food to my body. My favorite type of pause is when I say, it's time to take a pause. This little thing, and I just sit with her for a moment, enjoy her presence, enjoy her magic, and I'm thankful that she's a part of my life. I am very lucky to have a dog that is a part of my life, but you can also take pauses by simply, you can look outside your window and look at the dogs that are passing by, or with your cat, or go to the park and connect with nature and with animals. I also have my intention pauses. Before I start my day, before I send out an email, before I create something, Before I record this video, I take a moment to connect with the intention of why I'm doing what I'm about to do. And sometimes I forget, of course. And I've noticed that when I do, I start to feel a little moody. I start to have tech issues and things are simply not flowing. And then I remember, oh, I didn't set my intention, and I do it at the time. I have a little trick to remind me to set an intention before I start my workday. I keep this crystal next to my mouse. And before I reach to grab my mouse, I take this crystal and I connect with the intention of my work or what I'm about to do. I also meditate by holding this crystal, or I keep it nearby. So I charge it with my intention early in the morning. I do believe in the power of charging objects with our energy, especially crystals. But anyway, if my crystal is not nearby, I simply put my hands in my heart and I connect with the intention of what I'm about to do. I also have spontaneous pauses, and they just happen without any conscious effort on my part. Suddenly something grabs my attention. I hear, see, or smell something that brings me back into the present moment, or maybe even to the past. I remember something and I connect with that moment. I allow myself to feel the joy or nostalgia of that moment. By bringing me back, I am referring to I become conscious again. I'm not an autopilot anymore. These spontaneous pauses work as gateways between time. I can also connect to my future, for instance, if I see something inspiring. You see an act of kindness, something beautiful, and sudden rushes of happiness. These spontaneous pauses are very special. And these occurrences happen all the time. The issue is whether we give ourselves the time to enjoy them, to appreciate them, or whether we choose to ignore them, consciously or unconsciously. Ask your soul to bring this kind of pauses to you, and when it does, enjoy them and appreciate them. They are very special. I also have planned pauses. My morning meditation, yoga practice, going to prayer before I go to sleep, cold showers, and alarms spread out throughout the day that remind me to pause. By the way, I highly recommend the Triple Flame app created by Richard Watt, author of the Gene Keys. You can set up the interval and length of each pause and set it up to be quiet, guided, or with music. Much better than I also have imposed pauses. Waiting in line, waiting for the train, waiting for something to buffer, or when my body asks me to pause. When I get sick or injured, I am learning to use these pauses to connect with the present moment instead of being annoyed, and to listen to my body. Pauses, in any way that they present themselves, are my way to connecting with spirit, to becoming present, to enjoy the moment, to get in the flow, to recenter, to see things from a higher perspective. I invite you to reflect on how you can incorporate pauses in your day. Maybe there's a habit that you are doing every day, rather unconsciously. I invite you to use that same habit to remind you to breathe, to take a moment and reconnect. Just like Tara Brach says, through the sacred art of pausing, we develop the capacity to stop hiding, to stop running away from our experience. Don't wait for pauses to be demanded you in the form of distractions, unease, or disease. Create a time to pause, and when pauses come to you, give yourself the time to enjoy them. Let's take a pause, shall we? One of the best ways to incorporate pauses into our life is breathing, connecting with our breath. I am going to share with you a simple breathing technique that will help you recenter and come back to your body. It is called box breathing. We are going to inhale for 4, hold our breath for 4, exhale for 4, and hold on empty for 4. We repeat the same cycle, same ratio, creating an imaginary box. That is why it's called box breathing. Okay, let's begin. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. We finish with the exhale. Thanks for taking a pause with me. With much love and gratitude, Erika from Peace Space.
The Queen of Pausing, Zia. We have so much to learn from her.